The throne room of Queen Veilrix the Eternal was designed to break spirits. Its ceiling rose higher than most city towers, carved from obsidian-black alloy that reflected no light. The floor was etched with the names of conquered worlds, thousands of them, each glowing faintly red, as if still bleeding. Along the walls stood silent execution sentinels, weapons primed, eyes fixed forward. Every species in the galaxy knew this place. Every species feared it. Every species, that is, except one. The human stood alone at the center of the hall, hands unbound, posture relaxed. He wore no armor, no insignia, no visible weapons. Just a plain dark jacket and a faintly amused expression. Queen Veilrix leaned forward on her throne, her many-bladed crown casting long shadows across her pale, angular face. Her eyes burned like dying stars. "You stand before the ruler who shattered the Tethran Armada," she said, her voice echoing unnaturally. "The queen who fed entire civilizations to vacuum. Do you understand where you are, human?" The human glanced around, nodded thoughtfully. "Big room," he said. "Overcompensating a little, maybe." A murmur rippled through the court. Veilrix's lips curled. She smiled, beginning the summons. The human's name was Jonah Rook, former diplomat, former intelligence analyst, former problem solver for the Terran Union, currently a guest of the Sovereign Dominion, dragged across 3 star systems to stand before the galaxy's cruelest ruler. No one laughed at Queen Veilrix. She didn't rule through loyalty or ideology. She ruled through fear so absolute that entire species surrendered at the first whisper of her approach. Her reputation was simple: threaten once, destroy forever. Jonah had been brought in chains at first, but after he calmly explained, in perfect Dominion standard, the structural weaknesses of the transport holding him, and how easily he could disable it, they removed the chains. Not out of kindness, out of concern. "You were warned," Veilrix said now, rising from her throne. She descended the steps slowly, each step deliberate. "You were told to kneel." Jonah shrugged. "I've found kneeling tends to encourage the wrong kind of conversation." She stopped a few meters from him. "You think bravery will save you?" she hissed. "I can have you flayed molecule by molecule." Jonah met her gaze. "I believe," he said calmly, "that if you wanted me dead, I wouldn't be standing here." Silence fell like a blade. Veilrix studied him more carefully now. Good, Jonah thought. Curiosity was always the first crack. Middle, the queen's game. "You humans are strange," Veilrix said, circling him. "Your species lacks natural weapons. You fracture easily. Your lifespans are insignificant." "Yet here we are," Jonah replied, talking instead of screaming. A flash of anger crossed her face. She raised one clawed hand. Instantly, a hologram flared to life. Images of annihilated human colonies. Ships burning. Cities collapsing. "I erased your border worlds," she said coldly. "Your people begged. Your leaders pleaded. What makes you different?" Jonah looked at the images. His jaw tightened, but only slightly. "Those weren't border worlds," he said. "They were decoys." Veilrix paused. "What?" "The Union knew you'd come," Jonah continued. "We knew fear was your weapon. So we built settlements that looked vulnerable. We watched how you moved, how you threatened, how you escalated." He met her eyes again. "You showed us your patterns." The court erupted in whispers. Veilrix's voice dropped. "You dare claim your losses were intentional?" Jonah nodded. "Not acceptable losses. Calculated ones." She laughed then, a harsh, metallic sound. "Lies," she snapped. "Your species bleeds like any other." "Oh, absolutely," Jonah said. "We're very good at bleeding." He took a step forward. The sentinels shifted, weapons tracking him. But here's the thing, he continued. We don't confuse pain with surrender. Valrix's smile faded. The first threat. She raised her hand sharply. One of the sentinels fired. A bolt of energy tore through the air, only to dissolve inches from Jonah's chest, dispersing into harmless light. The court froze. Jonah didn't flinch. See, he said mildly. If you wanted me dead, really dead, you wouldn't test. Valrix's eyes narrowed. What have you done? Nothing, Jonah replied. Yet. The truth was more complicated. Jonah carried no weapons, but he carried something far more dangerous. Information. The throne room's defensive grid. The quantum failsafes. The psychological profiles of every Dominion noble present. He had memorized them. You summoned me, Jonah said. So, let's skip the theatrics. You want something. Valrix stared at him for a long moment. Then she laughed again, but this time, it was different. Very well, human, she said. I want to know why your people haven't retaliated. Jonah smiled faintly. Because we're waiting. A lesson in human fear. Valrix gestured, and the hologram changed. This time it showed a star, blue, massive, alive. Our fleets are positioned here, she said. One order from me, and this star collapses. The resulting wave will erase 12 systems. Jonah squinted. Messy. Do you feel it now? She demanded. Fear. He tilted his head. I feel concern, he said honestly. Fear is what happens when you don't have options. She slammed her claw into the floor. The chamber shook. You think you have options against me? Jonah stepped closer. I think, he said, voice steady, that you've never met a species that weaponized inevitability. She stared. We don't need to beat you, Jonah continued. We just need to make conquest cost more than it's worth. Every world you take bleeds you. Every fleet you send learns something new about us. He gestured to the hologram. You rule through terror. We respond with patience. Valrix's jaw tightened. For the first time in centuries, the cruelest queen felt something unfamiliar. Uncertainty. The turning point. You are alone, she said quietly. Even now. Jonah nodded. Physically? Yes. He tapped the side of his head. Strategically? Not even close. Valrix activated another display, this one showing Dominion systems flickering with warnings. Sabotage. Uprisings. Communication delays. Her eyes widened. What is this? Human contingency protocols, Jonah said. Activated the moment I entered this room. The court erupted into chaos. You threatened me, Jonah continued, his tone calm, almost conversational. You thought fear would work, but fear requires belief. He looked around the throne room. And I don't believe you're unstoppable. Valrix took a step back. No one in the galaxy had ever forced her to retreat. Until now. The Queen's choice. You could kill me, Jonah said. Right now. And my people would respond exactly as planned. He spread his hands. Or you could listen. Valrix stared at him, this infuriating, unimpressed human who refused to tremble. What do you offer? She asked. Jonah smiled. An alternative to extinction. The word hung heavy. You rule through cruelty because it's all you've ever known, he said. But cruelty creates enemies. Humans create endurance. Valrix's claws flexed. And if I refuse? Jonah shrugged. Then this becomes very educational for both our species.